or Tuesday or something, and it's been snowing the whole time in Port Collins.
It is definitely cold, cold here. No one's actually tuning in, but you should be able to see on your.
I think it looks great.
Does it look good? Okay. Let's see if any. All right. There's a slight delay. What?
It usually is. No, the guitar color looks good.
Look, Devin's here. Devin popped in
Hi, Devin.
to say hey. I wonder how come he's not. I bet you that it's like for as cold as it is here, I bet you it's really, really cold in Montana because Devin lives in a spot where you are supposed to, where no human beings are supposed to live, I think. Billy is here. Hey Billy, how you doing, man? We're actually just testing out the camera and seeing what stuff looks like. I want to show some guitars here in a little bit. Um, but yeah, I mean, why not? It's only I'm not really hungry. It's lunchtime, so we could take a moment. Hi, Sean. Sean says it's minus 14. Dang. Rick Nelson says, "What's up? Is that Mrs. Toast?" No, Rick, this is
Okay. It's Joy.
yeah, that's Joy.
Yeah,
And so that's all I really want to say about that.
that's good. All good.
Driddle says minus 11. So maybe it's supposed to be there's no people where Sean lives too. The Big Swede says hi from Littleton.
Sean?
Hi, Swede. Do you think the Big Swede is actually Chris? And it's like a new, I, I don't know, maybe. Stealth Parrot, hi from Canada. I bet you it's cold, cold in Canada too. So, what are you guys up to? We had a slow day yesterday. It was um super cold. So I just sort of hung around in the basement like uh like a like a like a little mole in my hole. I had a blankie and I was watching YouTube videos and just kind of goofing around.
Let's get some feedback on the.
Yeah, so what do you guys think of the coloration and the saturation and the way that the lighting and things like that? Big Sweet says kind of rhymes with Chris. So I don't know what that means. Dan is here. Dan, I am sneaking one in. How you doing? Doc says, "Hey, hey, Doc. Hope you're feeling better. I know that you're um kind of got that creeping crud." Mojo 67 says, "Lighting is much better today." So we came in today. We braved the elements and we came in today and we tried to get everything to look as good as we can. So I think we've got it now. Now if we can keep it this way, that's kind of the way that stuff goes, right? Here's your republic if you can keep it. Here's your lighting settings. Hope you can keep them. Steve says is he's here 3 degrees in Wichita. Burr. Doc says the colors look good. Stein's Utubia. I want the guitar on the desk. Well, you know what? There's a reason that I have this guitar on the desk right now. There's actually a couple. One, so we can look at it and you guys can see what this guitar actually looks like and get an idea of what the figure on this wood looks like. But this guitar is a level 3 that has been in the shop for a long, long time. I I don't know. There's a couple of level 3s that are in the shop right now, and if they don't sell, and they're up on the website, you can buy them right now. I mean, this is all handmade level 3 hollow body maple top flame maple. Um, and if this and it's got Dylan P90s. If this guitar doesn't sell, I might just keep this for me. But yeah, so I want, but really, what I wanted to do was, like, well, here's a guitar that we have that you guys can kind of look at and see what you think. Plus, we changed the camera angle a little bit so that you could actually see the whole guitar. We could raise the desk a little bit too, but yeah, we've got guitars that are ready to go all the time. One of the things I kind of wanted to give Glenn's guitar some redemption. Let's just see. You guys remember from Friday what this guitar looked like in the video? It wasn't super. It wasn't showing well. you know. So it's showing better today. Um, but this is the same guitar from Friday, so you can kind of get a little better of an idea of what this coloration is. This is that Tamco Ron Burgundy. So yeah. So anyway, Glenn actually said that he liked the guitar a lot. We're just waiting to he wanted a specific case for it, and we're Ike at Flipside's getting us one. And as soon as we get it, then we'll go ahead and ship the guitar out. But yeah, just kind of trying to test the waters a little bit. And lots of people were giving us feedback on what we were doing, what it looked like on Friday, and how much or what sorts of things we could try to get to change this stuff up a little bit. So Joy is a professionally trained photographer, and when she comes in and gets it all set up, then the onus is on Chris and I to, one, remember what she did, and two, put it back that way every time. So
Bunker. These can't stay up in the bunker all the time.
that's right, because the cameras can't stay up in the bunker, in the undisclosed location, in the underground bunker. So, but we made some changes to the settings on the camera. You can do so. Like, okay, here's how stupid I am. I don't know that you can go in on the computer and change what the camera does, but you can. So we changed a bunch of things that the camera does. And then of course YouTube changes stuff too. So you get you like look at the camera on the computer and it looks right on the computer. Then you start a YouTube live stream and everything looks completely different. So then you have to go back and you kind of have to adjust and move some stuff around. So like we changed the
plug and play over there. So, yeah.
Plug and play. What do you mean?
You would just plug it in and whatever.
Oh, yeah. So back at the old spot, what we would do is we would just throw the camera up there, and like I said, it looked kind of like a frat house in the back, and so we wanted to up our game a little bit here. So I hope that this is working out, and you guys can see stuff a little better, and yeah. I like we could. Oh, that's as low as the table can go, which is probably okay. We did a video. I came in and shot a video today about more in my series of make your guitar play great in 2024, and we did fret ends and stuff today, so that was fun. So that's going to be out at 5 this afternoon. I'm going to go over to Jimmy's in a little bit maybe, and see what's going on over there. I haven't seen that guy since.
3 days.
No, it was yeah, it was a week ago. So yeah, that'll be fun. Let's see what you guys are up to. Eric says, "Look great then, looks great now." Thank you, Eric. That's very kind of you. Sean says that's a good color, but I think he was talking about the guitar. Rick and Joy are talking. Dan says, "Good move. Your game is up there." Thank you, Dan. Devin says he'll be back in May. I think Doc is coming back in May too. You guys can. I'm gonna use a term that's gonna date me. But yeah, there'll probably be if there's a bunch of Texas Toast guys in town in May, there'll be a bunch of grab ass. I think that's yeah. Did y'all's dad ever say that? Hey, y'all stop playing grab ass over there. Did your dad ever do that stuff, Miss Joy?
Grab ass.
No, you never heard grab ass.
A Chicago term.
Was it? Okay. All right. Doc says, "Give JJ a big hug for me." No way, he stinks. He says, "I bummed out he's not going to make it this week." Well, yeah, that is kind of a bummer, Don. It's Chris's birthday on the 19th or the 17th, 19th, 17th, the 17th. Yeah. So, and if you were in town, we were all going to go to Casa Bonita. No, we weren't going to do that, but yeah. So you're going to miss Chris's birthday, so you'll have to. Don't send him any candy. Chris is doing a lot of health, doing a lot of things to better himself, and we want to encourage that stuff. So don't send a bunch of candy, because one, Chris won't eat it. Two, I'll be very tempted and probably end up eating it. So yeah. What else you got that can like rot your teeth out of your head? That's what we need. Um, I guess they said that in Montana or wherever Driddle's from. Um, Frosted Head says, I don't know what kind of family you have. Well, my family is actually very unique.
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's referring to your grab ass.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, Dan says he's going to try to make it out when we figure out the PRS class. Let's talk a little bit about the PRS class. All of our workshops these days have most of our workshops these days have a Steve component. What I mean by that is Steve at Maximum Guitar Works um, helps us out with, like, if you come to, say, for the sake of conversation, you came to a PRS class, the top would already be carved. So that would be cool because one, carving a top is something that you can do, but it just takes time. And the whole idea is that in 2024, we want to have almost every class. I say almost because we scheduled a bunch of these and some people signed up before we changed our mind on what we wanted to do. But we don't want to do anymore where you just leave with something that's wood or leave with something that's just got the woodwork and paint done on it, and then you put it together later. We want to have it so that everybody walks out of here with a guitar that they can play when they leave here, so that when they get home, they can rock on. Joy, would you give me a thing of water, please? I'm really parched because I started talking, and so the PRS thing. I'm not saying that you guys can't do a carb top. Of course you could, but in the amount of time that we want to get all this stuff done, we have to go from woodwork to paintwork to assembly and get it all put together and done. I think they're on the floor there. Um, and so that would be a way to, if we have Steve do the tops, one, all the tops get done, exactly perfectly right. And two, you guys walk out of here with guitars on whatever the last day is, Friday or Sunday or however that's going to work. So, um, um, oh, bless you. Thank you so much. Hey, Slacker D is here. He says that it looks so much better. Thank you so much. Paul is here. Steve says, had teachers and coaches that would tell us not and stop it. Pay attention, stop the grab ass. hmm. It's been a while since I did a solo live stream. It's Chris is usually always here with me. But sometimes, like I get snowed in, or that one time I had COVID and I did a live stream from my house just by myself. So yeah. Is it good to hang out with you guys and just kind of chill out?
Except you gotta go edit a video.
Say again.
Except you have to go edit.
I do have to go home and edit the video for 5 o'clock, but I think it's going to be a fairly easy one to do, and it's going to be, for those of you just joining us, if you wanted a spoiler on what the video tonight is going to be, I'm going to do fret sprout and fret ends, and it's going to be another one in the series of make your guitar play great in 2024, which I'm having a lot of fun with. I also want to work on one that's make your guitar play great in 2024, and then I do want to do, it'll be like a handful of videos that like talk about, like, if you're building something, or if you have something, or if you just want to make something that you have uh play better or play the best that it can. um that will be a video series that will be good for that. It's not anything advanced, but you know what, there's not a lot of advanced guitar building. It's sort of like gunfights. There's no such thing as an advanced gunfight. So it's all fundamentals and doing it right the first time. So the other thing is, of course, there's a buttload of shameless plugs for Texas Toast guitars in there too, because if you have a Texas Toast guitar, you don't need to do any of this stuff to that to that guitar, because it should be perfect every time. But I'm also going to do a kind of a mini series this year, and it's going to be called "How to Start Building Guitars in 2024," and like, some tools that you guys might already know, but everybody watching now probably already knows. Um, like what I'm going to say when I say it, but you guys tune in still because you're cool, and I dig that. Lonnie Max Garage says, "Hey Matt, are you still working on an acoustic you were doing on the members only vids? I missed that thing." That's a good question. So Yes and no. The acoustic guitar started out as a way for me to make a guitar that didn't have a lot of expensive electronics. Um, and what it turned into is a guitar that has kind of a lot of expensive electronics. So yeah, we are still doing some acoustic stuff, but my idea for the acoustic has morphed into what I am calling the Icon series of guitars. I would show you right now, but it's at Chris's house. Chris took it home with him this week for the weekend, and it's. Let me tell you though, every time I pick it up, I like it more, and it's my favorite guitar. It's basically a slight. It's like a no cutaway Les Paul, but slightly bigger, and maybe like a half inch thicker than a Les Paul. So it's not as big as an acoustic. It's not as deep as an acoustic. It joins the body at the 16th fret. Unlike an acoustic, it has a regular tune-o-matic bridge like an electric. It takes electric guitar strings, so it plays like an electric, and it feels a little bit more like an electric, but it's louder than an unplugged electric, and you can amplify it easier than you can an acoustic with like a piezo pickup. So it's a really neat thing. It's and there's gonna be it's inevitable that someone would say, let's draw a comparison to the Fender Acoustasonic, right? But it's different from that because what that is in my tiny brain, my opinion is that's an acoustic sounding guitar that they made feel a little bit more like it's at Fender. You're kind of married to the Telly and the Strat. You know, what I mean, I don't know, but I would bet you that the Fender Telly and the Fender Strat are the most popular guitars that those guys make. I'm not, not like I'm brilliant. I figured that out. I just think I think that's kind of common knowledge. So any Fender that you have that you want to be bring to the marketplace and be competitive, probably in Fender's marketing department, they probably feel like, and rightly so, let's make it look like a Strat or let's make it look like a Telly. Um, or let's make it look like a Jazzmaster. And if you guys, some of you guys who are old enough to remember the Kramer Farringtons from the 80s, those were basically Tellys and Strats that were acoustics. That there was that show on MTV called MTV Unplugged where bands would go on and play electric songs unplugged. There was a lot of metal guys too, like Poison and Kiss. And I don't know.
What was Chris's comment about the guitar when he took it home?
He said it was rad.
Said something good.
He said, Matt, you're a true genius, and your guitar building prowess is second to none. No, he didn't say that. But the what we're calling the Icon is about as close to a full-on acoustic that we make. But man, it's so fun to like tuning it to an open tuning is. I had it out the other day and I tuned it to E, and I was just goofing around with it. Man, it was fun, and it was nasty and snarly sounding, and it has that particular one has that Pete Biltoff uh, Charlie Christian pickup in it. And it looks cool and it looks vintage, but it's brand new, and it weighs like, I don't know, like 5.5 pounds or something. It's really, really neat. And it's a lot of fun to play. So that's what's going on with the uh that's what's going on with the acoustic. We're shifting gears a little bit away from it being an acoustic only instrument. And we're trying to make it something that is a little more accessible and something that people can have. One of my customers said, he's an older guy and he works out. He's a big dude, and he's like, I like playing guitar, but he only has an acoustic. And he's like, I can't, like, I'm old and my arms are big, and it's getting it wrapped around an acoustic. I'm like, well, let's make something that's a little. So we've been talking about this for a long time, me and him. So yeah, so that's what's going on with the acoustic. Yeah, and you'll see it. You'll see it. Did so yeah, so thanks for hanging out. I know I'm not saying hi to everybody. Joey Dano in the house. Let's see. Mark Stanton is here. What's the Taylor 810? Mark, actually, Joy came in the other day and was showing me a picture of a Taylor, like remember what model number that was? It was a Koa top, like a semi hollow body, semi hollow, and that's kind of what we're going for. Like the Icon won't have a spruce top; it'll have a maple top. The reason that it won't have a spruce top is because it'll have controls on it. Um, and the reason it'll have controls on it is because it'll have a volume knob, and it probably will have F holes. So I don't want to monkey around with a really thin spruce top that's going to need to vibrate to make all the sound. So yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Um, Doc wants to know what's the guitar on my right. This one here, Doc. This is. I think you were here when I was doing this. This is a neck through prostitute. Oh, okay. So this was I kind of drug a bunch of guitars out so we could show stuff off, like to check the camera angle and color and stuff. And this is a guitar that I've been working on for a while. You guys might have seen this. Um, it's not a new guitar, but it's definitely a cool old one. And yeah, so the neck through SG, which I call the prostitute. I don't know why I call it that. There's a couple of people have been like, man, I really like that guitar, but I don't like what that you call it the prostitute. Well, okay. I You need to know I didn't do that to okay, I did do it to be a irreverent SOB and kind of a, sophomoric turkey, but I think it's a cool, okay, so a lot of people are like, why did you call it the prostitute? It's actually from the movie Yellowbeard. And if you've ever seen the movie Yellowbeard, there was one of the naval officers was Mr. Prostitute. And I just thought that was funny. I think the word prostitute is funny. So anyway, but the prostitute is what I call this shape. And I think that all of them from now on should be neck through because you can get a really excellent neck joint. Um, and I've got a bunch of stuff like this that will turn out to be excellent little guitars here in a little while. So let's see what else is going on. But is this the one you were talking about, Don? I hope so. Rick says, any experience with the Triton TRMT trim router? About to buy one to mod my headstock. Little step pattern action. Rick, I have not. I don't have a whole lot of experience with a lot of Triton. I don't. Where do you even buy them? Um, are they a brand that is popular in overseas? For me, overseas, if you live in England or if you live in Europe, then you're over there and I'm overseas. But um, I don't know too much about them. I would imagine that it's probably pretty good. If it's in that price, it's a trim router, so it's probably like a little one. I have a couple of those rigid trim routers, and I really like the rigid routers. If you've ever been out to a workshop here and used the table router, you know that I have multiple routers with bits just in them, and we swap them in and out of the base. Somebody kind of gave me a squirrely comment. They're like, all you got to do is buy a $5,000 table router. I'm like, no, man, my table router is a, a, a router, like a piece of aluminum that fits in a table that I think I paid $150 for both things. And then I clamp on just a regular plunge router from Home Depot, the rigid one. I bought I have three of the routers. And what happens is I just buy them, and when they, when I need another one, or if like one gets kind of, like a piece bust on it or something, I'll buy a new one, then I'll fix it. So I have three routers that like router engines, motors that go in this base. And so the cool thing is I can keep a couple of different pattern bits and flush trim bits and roundover bits and stuff just in them. And I just swap the whole router out instead of swapping bits. It's way faster and it's super. You guys know if you've ever been out here, you know what I'm talking about. But um, so yeah, table router is a great tool. And then the base that I made that the thing sits on is just some 2x4s and some wheels and some things. And it was a very affordable project. I think a table router, especially if you make it with like stuff that you can get at the home center, is a very affordable, cool tool to have. So, and you should have one. So yeah, but I've never used any of the Triton stuff, but I'm sure it's good. Um, yeah. I thought it was called a prostitute because of the SG body shape. Well, yeah, I mean, it is that's kind of what that shape is definitely uh what is made famous by the Gibson SG. But yeah, but the reason I gave it that squirrely name is because of that movie Yellowbeard. So anyway, well, gang, I hope that you guys are hanging in there. What? Oh, we've been going for 25 minutes. Holy moly! I can just talk and talk and talk. Hey, Loring, how are you doing? Is there a paint extension for the April class? What is the April class? Is the April class a woodworking one? If so, there will be a paint extension for that, I believe. Uh, but I think the we've got two woodworking workshops scheduled for this year on the website right now. I think that both of them will have 2-day paint extensions. I think that they are the last woodworking workshops that we're going to do because I'm getting kind of bummed out. Like I was saying, I was kind of getting bummed out from people not being able to leave with a complete guitar. Because what I heard a lot was, I'm still doing it. I'm like, well, geez, that was 2 years ago. And it's, at that point, it's like, well, this thing might as well be like a table leg or firewood or something. So I hate that. I want you guys to have guitars that you like want to play, not just get to build, but that you get to play too. So uh Joey Dano says PRS class in June or July. Doug, that could be. So two questions. Lauren, if there's a woodworking workshop listed on the website now, it will have the 2-day paint extension. But the ones that are up there now, I think will be the last woodworking workshops that we do that aren't whole things. They're popular, but I just want everyone to walk out with guitars that are ready to go. Doug, PRS Workshop. Um, Probably not in June because I have some stuff that I have to do that month. But I don't see why we couldn't push it to July. One of the things that I have to do is I have to get with Steve and kind of talk with him about like, well, hey Steve, what can we do? What can we have in place? Um, and getting Steve is a busy guy. Steve has Maximum Guitar Works, and Steve is still in the United States military. So he has lots and lots of stuff going on. And it's hard to and I'm not his only customer. You guys know. So yeah, if but however, Steve and I are also friends. So if I say, "Hey, Steve, can we do this?" I'm not going to say he's going to cut me some slack, but he'll understand what I want to do. Kind of like Dylan and I are friends. We also are business, associates, and we are colleagues or whatever words. But mostly we're buds. So so what Dylan will let me get away with is probably a little different than if just somebody just called up, bless you. I'm not saying that because Dylan's mean. You know what I'm talking about. I'm saying it because Dylan and I have a rapport and we're friends. So anyway, um, um, uh, Rick says, Rick says Triton is from Crimson Guitar. Ben Crow talks them up. I realize they're a sponsor, but I find Ben to be pretty genuine. Learned a lot from his channel. Well, yeah. So I don't like I said, just because I've never tried them, I think they're good. Um, but and if Ben says they're good, then I think you can take that to the bank. I'm sure they're great tools. So yeah, I think buy with confidence, and enjoy your new router. And send me some pictures of what you make too. Doc says he really enjoyed the woodworking workshop. First set neck for me. Guitar turned out amazing, even with me painting it. That's cool. And I've seen that guitar, so I know that to be true. Looks like Dan and Doug are planning on coming out to that one. Dan, do you think you could make that if we did it in July? Now, I think there's one schedule. I think there's a workshop schedule for July already. So I'm gonna have to check my calendar and see if I can do two in July. But let me know. You know what? Actually, gang, let me know when you can come out and what like summertime work better for you guys. Like if you got, I don't know what I know you guys have lives, you're doing things. I mean, coming out in the summer is certainly way nicer in Colorado than when it's negative. What is it now? -8, -5.
Think we're above
Mm, we're above zero now, but tomorrow's supposed to be crazy cold. So anyway, yeah. Doug says August then. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'd have to. So, Doug, what I mean is, I don't think there's anything scheduled for the August right now. There was some stuff, and I kind of scrapped it because I wanted to do some new stuff. Um, so if August works, then yeah, that would be cool. Any chance of a Limba Firebird in class? Um, yes and no. Making Firebirds is it depends on what you mean. Firebird, like the ones that the Dangerous Brothers, Dave and Doug and Doc made, neck through. No, we're not going to be doing those. That's just it was way too much brain damage for me to pull off. Um, if you want to do a set neck Firebird style, especially if you want to do a non-reverse, I love those things. Those are cool. We could probably source some limbo for you to do that with. I mean, that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I don't have any. There are no neck through workshops scheduled for right this second. That may change, but as of right now, there are no plans to do a neck through. Um, let me let me see if I can make that happen. I think I would much rather focus the energy on stuff like Paul Reed Smith shapes and Les Paul shapes and Strats and Tellys. Those seem to be very, very popular. Um, um, Brad Guitar Manin from Texas says, any chance of a nitro finish TTGs? The only way you're going to be able to get a nitrocellulose lacquer or acrylic lacquer finished guitar from me is if you strip all the paint off of it and paint it yourself. You guys know that nitrocellulose finishes are, and in a workshop, absolutely not. There's just no way to get the finish to uh, cure properly in time in a 5-day class where you start with a pile of wood and end with a guitar that's all strung up. There's no way to do uh, a proper nitrocellulose or acrylic lacquer finish thing like that in 5 days. Now, if you like lacquer, cool. Who doesn't like lacquer? The fire marshal. One of the things that guitar companies that spray lacquer have to do is pay. They have to pay to shoot that stuff. Um, I don't think I don't think that it's worth it for me. Um, I, and it would be very, very cost prohibitive for me to. I would have to redo my entire paint booth. I'd have to redo everything. Now, what you can get away with in your at your home shop, or what you can get away with in another state, or what you can get away with at wherever you live, or whatever it is. Yeah, cool, man. But we don't shoot lacquer anymore, um, acrylic or nitrocellulose. We do spray the thinnest possible finish that we can, and we have come up with a bunch of finishes that are I think are super, super cool, super sexy, really unique, and have a vintage kind of a vibe to them that I genuinely love, and I get it if you want lacquer, but no, we don't do that. I'm sorry that we don't. Um, okay. Sean says his was the easiest. Yeah, we just squirted a sealer on there. Can you put a Mastery Jazzmaster Bridge on a Challenger? Asks BER 637. Well, as a matter of fact, we have. And I can't remember. Does Karsten Hammer Hansen have that one? Or we did a couple of we've done a few guitars with Jazzmaster trims, Challenger shaped guitars with Jazzmaster trims. I would just assume not. Um, but we can. Now it would have to be a guitar that is shaped to accommodate that bridge. Now, what I mean is we've done level threes with Jazzmaster trims because the level three's flat, okay, on the top. So Jazzmaster Bridge, or sorry, Jazzmaster trim could plop right onto this, uh, and it would be fine. Our level ones, twos, and fours are all carved tops. So where that would go would be right in the middle of the bell carve. So, I mean, yeah, you could do it, but I don't think it would be neat. It's sort of like saying, could you put a Jazzmaster Bridge on a Les Paul? Yeah, I suppose you could. But the so short answer, yes, we could. Long answer, but no, we probably won't. Unless someone starts throwing a bunch of money at it. I mean, if someone starts throwing cash around, then yeah. I came up with this the other day. We can build you a guitar that you will never financially recover from if that's what you want. Um, so if money is no object, then pretty much anything can be done. But yeah, on our level ones, level twos, and level fours, I would say that getting a Jazzmaster trim is going to be something that we just won't do. If you want a level three, yeah, okay, we can do that. Or if you want to, yeah, I mean, or if you want to just start throwing hundreds at me until I tell you to stop, then yeah, we could do something. But for the most part, now what we can do, I don't have one in within like 3 feet of me, but I think I will show one very soon. We are doing Challenger level twos with Hipshot trims, and they are awesome. We've got one that's got a V to C neck that's actually in the works right now. It's a white limbo body with a maple 3-piece maple neck with the V to C JJJ 57 contour on the back. The reason we call it that, by the way, is my friend Jim has an actual 1957 Strat, not a replica, not a reproduction, an actual 1957 Strat. And the necks we had made that it's a little different because that Strat's 25 and a half inch scale, and the Challenger necks are 24 and 3/4. But it's a V to C neck like Jim's 57 Strat, and it's got a basically a Strat trim. It's the Hipshot one, so it's a modern take on a 2-point trim, but it's super cool. And man, it's going to be really really neat. So if you want a guitar, if you want a Challenger with a trim, no problem, we can absolutely do that. Yeah. Um, um, so yeah, Dr. Frankenstein, Mastery Bridge seems excessively pricey for what it is. I disagree. I don't think that it is excessive for what you get. I love the Jazzmaster trim. I love the Jazzmaster. I think Jazzmasters are really cool. So cool, in fact, that one of the neatest guitars we've ever made was we called it the Super Casanova. We don't have any right now, but yeah, the Super Casanova is basically our version of the Jazzmaster, and it's got that trim, and that trim is super smooth, man, and that bridge is really neat. I really like them. And then yeah, they're expensive, they're um, but I think they're worth it. So anyway, um, um, fair enough. Thanks for planning for a future build. Okay, not toasty in Texas today. 13 degrees. Burr, Mojo 67. I don't know if you guys can hear the microphone move down. Does that change anything? Should I move the microphone? Huh?
That's not question.
What are you doing? All right. Holy Mac. Oh, good gravy. You guys should have no trouble hearing me. I'm always hollering. Pardon me. I'm sorry, you guys. More echo, 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 echo. Um, yeah. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. And 29 -2. Doc says more of a distant sound. Sounds like you're talking in a tin can. I'm in a Johnny Mathis record, Dan. Um, Dr. Frankenstein says he's never had a problem with the basic Fender or Gibson tune. No, I think they're great. They're definitely cool. Ed, oh, that's right. We did a couple of Jazzmaster trims for challengers, and Ed has one. I forgot about that. It's hard to remember all the guitars, you know. somebody asked me how many guitars we made. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like 10,000 or anything, but there's a lot. Um, and it's hard for me to remember. And it's funny when I see them again, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Um, you know how like Facebook has those things where it's like, here's what you were doing 7 years ago, and it was whatever it was. I totally spaced out that guitar until I saw the picture. So okay, 65 in beautiful downtown Phoenix. That's nice. Um, my buddy Jim Fuller is actually driving back. I'm sure he's on the road right now. He's driving back from the Denver metro area to his place in Scottsdale, and he'll be back there soon. And it was good to hang out with Jim for a little bit. That was another funny one. He brought a guitar that we built in like 2017. It was a Strat, and it was a hardtail Strat. And he said, "Can we put a trem on it?" And this was back in the day. It was like our old neck, with our old headstock and a body that was like before Steve's templates and stuff. No forearm contour, and it was like a alder body with a flame maple veneer on top, and it had paint like black burst, gray to black or whatever burst. Neat guitar, and he brought it in. He's like, "Can we put a trem on it?" I'm like, ugh, yeah. So, and I said, ugh, because I'm like, I hate doing repair work, but Jim would do it for me if I brought him something and said, "Hey Jim, can you do something that I want on this?" He would do it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So it was fun. We hung out and we retrofitted a Hipshot trem onto a guitar that had a Hipshot hardtail bridge, and everything went away. It was like there was no evidence at all of the hardtail bridge. It was really cool. So that was a fun project. So um, oh, okay. Um, all right. Well, gang, I think that we are going to. I probably need to move it along here and get back to the house and do some video editing. And but anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. And it was good to see. See some names here. Dr. Frankenstein, for example. I don't know that I've ever seen you on the channel before. So thank you for joining us. That's very kind of you. So yeah, and if anyone else, let me know in the comment section if this is your first time watching or commenting. So thanks for hanging out with us. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, I know I said I was going to shut up, but here I am talking. One of the reasons I said that I wanted to do this was if you do too many videos that are live and the lighting stinks, then you guys are going to go, no, the lighting stinks on all these videos, so I'm not going to watch. So I want to make sure that we got it right. So I think now that we have some professional help now, so I think we're good to go. So anyway, gang, thanks for hanging out with us. This is Matt from Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel, etc., etc. We'll see you guys at 5, and have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching, guys.